We all know the story. The vampire, the immortal creature of the night. He sleeps in a coffin. He fears the cross and the sunlight. He transforms into a bat. This is the Dracula of legend, a monster born from fiction, from folklore, and from our deepest fears. But every legend has a seed of truth. This one begins with an Irish theatre manager named Bram Stoker. While writing his 1897 novel, he was searching for a name that sounded like evil, like menace. In a history book, he found it. Dracula. It belonged to a real fearsome Wallachian prince, Vlad III. His father was knighted into the Order of the Dragon. That is where the name Dracula, meaning dragon, comes from. So who was the real Dracula? Vlad III. But his people knew him by another name, Vlad Țepeș. The Impaler. He was no count from a foreign land. He was a medieval ruler in the 1400s, in a rugged and contested region now part of Romania. His life was a constant struggle for power. He ruled Wallachia not once, but 3 separate times. Each reign was marked by war, intrigue, and brutal consolidation of his power. To understand his brutality, you must understand his world. He was born into a political nightmare. The colossal Ottoman Empire was at his doorstep, demanding tribute and subservience. As a young boy, Vlad and his brother were sent as hostages to the Ottoman court. This was a guarantee of his father's loyalty. He lived there for years. He studied their military tactics. He learned their language, and he developed a deep-seated hatred for them. When he finally gained the throne, he used terror as his primary weapon. After battles, his preferred method of execution was impalement. It was a slow, gruesome death designed to send a message. He created forests of the impaled outside his cities. When Ottoman ambassadors refused to remove their turbans in his presence, legend says he nailed them to their heads. This was psychological warfare. His cruelty was calculated to deter invasion and crush internal dissent. His reputation was sealed not by his own people, but by his enemies. Saxon merchants in Transylvania, with whom he was in constant economic conflict, printed pamphlets. These were the tabloids of the 15th century. They spread horrific stories across Europe. They depicted him as a bloodthirsty tyrant who dined among his dying victims. They wrote that he dipped his bread in their blood. This was propaganda designed to isolate him politically. But it worked too well, creating a monster of legend. So did he live in a Gothic castle? The iconic Bran castle is beautiful, but it was only a temporary stronghold. His real home was the Poenari fortress, accessible only by climbing nearly 1,500 steps up a mountainside. It was a strategic, austere military command post, not a luxurious vampire's lair. This was a fortress built for defense, not for brooding in a cape. Bram Stoker took the name and the dark reputation. He wove it together with Slavic and Romanian folklore about creatures like the Strigoi, the restless dead. He added the vampire traits from other European myths. The fictional Count Dracula was born, a charismatic, supernatural aristocrat. The historical Vlad was a complex, real man, a devout defender of Christianity against the Ottomans, revered by some Romanians as a patriot. Brutal, yes, but a product of a brutally violent time. So we are left with 2 figures. The myth is a seductive story of a supernatural monster who defies death. The reality is the story of a flesh and blood prince who used death as a political tool. So, which is truly more frightening? The fictional vampire who drinks blood for immortality, or the ruthless, historical prince who spilled oceans of it for power, faith, and country. The legend of Dracula endures because it is built upon the terrifying foundation of a very real human history.